This week we got so many new details about what accused murderer Brian Walshe was doing around the time that his wife was dead or dying. Or being killed by Brian, perhaps. He has already admitted that he lied to the police about her death and disappearance in order to impede their investigation. And he's also admitted to disposing of his wife's body in various dumpsters across Massachusetts. But he is still denying any involvement in Anna's death, and now prosecutors have to prove that not only did he kill Anna, but he did it with premeditation, meaning that he at least took one moment to reflect before he went and killed Anna. We got so much new data this week, and so much of it is extremely chilling when you put it side by side other data. Things that seem like they might be innocent or innocuous end up being kind of horrifying in context. I'm going to go through this timeline in chronological order, but you guys have to stick with me because Brian is lying to everybody the whole time. Let's jump straight into it. In early 2022, Anna Walshe got her dream job making $300,000 in real estate in Washington, D.C. But Brian couldn't leave Massachusetts because he was on house confinement for selling some fraudulent Andy Warhol paintings as if they were real. So with the help of William Fastow, Anna Walshe and Brian Walshe buy a house in D.C. for Anna to live in by herself. Brian was awaiting sentencing for the art fraud stuff, so shortly thereafter, she wrote a letter to the court in support of Brian. I am sure that's going to get brought up by the defense at some point. By July, Anna and William had grown closer, they began an illicit affair, and their relationship was becoming more serious. They went to Dublin, Ireland for Thanksgiving, and they spent Christmas Eve together. Anna was supposed to fly home the next day, but she told William that her flight home was canceled. It was not canceled. By noon, Anna has not communicated any of her travel plans to Brian, and he's starting to freak out. Meanwhile, her affair partner says that by the afternoon she had to leave because his kids were going to be coming to the house. At this point, William was separated from his wife, but sometimes he had his kids. And when Anna doesn't get back to him, Brian is Googling all kinds of stuff, including William Fastow's name, even though he claimed that he did not know about Anna and William having an affair. He's Googling his wife's name, he's Googling plane crash, he does not know what's going on. Anna finally texts him, "My flight got canceled, I'm driving up." And they talk on the phone seemingly for hours while she's in the car. After Anna had gone missing for around 24 hours on Christmas Day, Brian's mother Diana hired a private investigator to surveil Anna while she was living in DC. And prosecutors allege that this was at the direction and input of Brian. You can pause to read if you like. To interpret this chart, everything that's in blue is a search term that Brian searched for, and everything in green is a website he clicked on or went to. I don't know what the importance of this is, or if we'll ever learn. William was traveling to Idaho, and during this trip he was texting Anna about we don't know what. We, the public, don't get to see them, but the jury does, and I'm so curious what's in them. We have not heard this in court yet, but I know this because of pretrial stuff. On the 28th of December, Anna had dinner with her friend in DC and said that she believes that Brian will be incarcerated as a result of his federal case, and that she is prepared to leave him and take the children. And throughout this time, Brian is searching some interesting and weird stuff. He's searching about divorce. He's searching about diamond rings. Does he want to sell Anna's diamond ring? Is he trying to buy her a new one? You can pause to read this page. Now we're getting into the hours that are leading up to Anna's death. Brian is searching for hotels, he's searching for play places, he's searching for charity stuff, and if you can donate lottery winning tax-free. Oh no, this formatting is wrong. Oh no. This is something that Brian alleged, but it's not true. We know that now. He said that his child took his phone and hid it under his pillow. Brian claimed that he didn't have access to his phone for 2 full days because of this, even though it was an iPhone and every other device in his house is an Apple product, and he could have literally just used Find My iPhone. Okay. Meanwhile, Anna's getting a mani-pedi. She gives Brian this champagne that in retrospect has kind of a haunting note on it. Wow, 2022, what a year, and yet we are still here and together. Let's make 2023 the best one yet. We are the authors of our lives. Courage, love, perseverance, compassion, and joy. Love, Anna. Around 8 p.m., Brian and Anna's friend Jem shows up for New Year's Eve dinner. Brian had prepared this elaborate meal and he fed both of them. You can pause to read this one too. At about 1:30 in the morning on New Year's Day, Jem leaves. Anything bold and italicized like this is something that Brian said that we later learned was a lie. So he says that they went upstairs to continue celebrating, that he went downstairs to clean the kitchen for an hour, and that when he went back upstairs, he found Anna deceased in bed and he nudged her until eventually she fell out of bed, deceased. We don't know the exact time that he's going to allege that this happened, but it had to be sometime between about 2:30 in the morning and 3:50 in the morning. This is when Brian begins his insane spree of internet searches. How to stop a body from decomposing. How long for someone to be missing to inherit. Can you throw away body parts? No! Why would you have to ask that? Meanwhile, what he's told police is that Anna left and took a ride share to the airport because she got called in for a work emergency. And he's the father of the year, waking up and making, I think this was the French toast he made for his 3 boys. But still, he is searching away. What does formaldehyde do? How do you dispose of a cell phone or computer? He also searches a serial killer from the 60s and 70s who disposed of many of his victims in trash bags. You can pause to read. By the way, even though Brian, in my understanding, did not bring in any income that year whatsoever, and Anna is bringing in around $300,000, even though Brian is on house arrest, they still have a babysitter that comes nearly every day for multiple hours, and all of the children are either in daycare or school full-time, which I believe Anna is paying for. Imagine being legally required to stay home and you still won't watch your kids. This is around the time he visits a website called Want to Get Away with Murder? Use special detergent. Originally, the babysitter was supposed to come around noon, but he told her the same lie that he told everybody else, that Anna had left and gone on a work trip. So the babysitter came at 3 o'clock so that Brian could run some errands. And Walshe had told different officers different things. He told his home confinement officer that he was taking his mother after a recent cataract surgery. And he told police that he was driving to get milk and orange juice for the kids. But what he was actually doing was driving to Lowe's to get 5-gallon buckets, a high-tension hacksaw, terry cloths, a framing hammer. He bought all of these tools to use in the process of disposing of his wife's remains. Not all of these were purchased on this Lowe's trip because he went to various stores, but they were all purchased for the purpose of getting rid of Anna. He also purchases 13 different types of hydrogen peroxide, which is a combination of brands and strengths for everyone asking. And he purchased 1.5 gallons of ammonia. You can pause to read this page. And Brian is not sleeping on basically any of these days. He's just up searching crazy stuff. And at 3:15 in the morning, the day after Anna disappears, her phone is interacted with for the last time. At this point, Brian is searching a lot of stuff to cover things up, but he's not really covering things up with other people. And then Jem, who had been there the night before, texts him, "I love my necklace," and a photo of the necklace. Anna and Brian, I guess, had given him a necklace the evening before. But still, he doesn't say anything about Anna. He's still not trying to really cover it up with Jem yet. He just says, "Looking good, buddy. Just found my phone. Another amazing year." This is the point where Brian starts texting Anna in an effort to cover things up and act like he doesn't know she's dead. He also searches "I'm Good" several times, which I guess is a movie. I don't know, they kept calling it a movie. I found a short film. I'm not sure about that. If you know, tell me. You can pause to read this page too. By the 3rd of January is when the juxtaposition of Brian's searches versus what he's texting Anna are very different. He is making all of these searches on the MacBook, and then he's texting Anna on an iPhone. He's searching, "Can baking soda make a body smell good?" and "How to clean up blood without a trace." And then he's texting Anna, "Hello, where are you? I'm worried, please call me. Are footprints easy to wash away?" At some point he realizes he needs to reach out to Anna's friends too, because it's suspicious that he's not doing that. And he's like, "Hello, I know we did this a week ago, because remember, Anna went missing on Christmas for 24 hours, but have you heard from Anna?" He also texts Anna's sister and is like, "Happy New Year, have you heard from Anna?" You can pause to read. Brian tells his probation officer that he's going to be leaving to pick up his kids at school at 3:15 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. That's his normal schedule. But instead, he uses that time to travel to all these different apartment complex dumpsters, where his vehicle is seen on security footage pulling up. Also, his phone location data places him here. And then he's on security camera carrying what appears to be a heavy trash bag. After he leaves all these various apartment buildings, he has to keep up appearances, so he texts Anna again. "Where are you? The boys and I are worried. I'm calling to work tomorrow if I don't hear from you." He literally just threw her away in a dumpster. And on the phone that he knows he's going to turn over to police, he's searching things like how to file a missing persons report, Washington, D.C. Police Department. And on the MacBook he doesn't plan on turning into the police, he's searching, "Can police get your search history without your computer?" Also, if you read some of his texts, they're so over-explaining. I feel so bad for Anna's sister, because she was probably like, "You're being so weird right now." And he was. You can pause to read this page too. I'm really not sure why he kept searching apartment buildings that Anna was affiliated with. If anybody has insight, please tell me. And once again, he is searching Anna's affair partner's name, who he allegedly did not know was her affair partner. This is the point where Anna's work calls in a well-being check, and they're dispatched to come out to Brian's house. For some reason, he's searching "I'm Good" again. What is that? And on this day, Anna and William had planned to celebrate a belated New Year's Eve together. She was supposed to fly back to DC on the 3rd, but she obviously missed her flight because she was deceased. It seems to me like not only did Brian know about William and Anna, but he also knew about their plans to hang out on the 4th, because Brian calls William up and he leaves him this very long and kind of bizarre voicemail, just being like, "Have you seen Anna? I'm calling everybody," even though he really wasn't calling very many people at all. You can pause to read this page too. I've made all the data I showed you and much more data available in my spreadsheet about this. This is where you can find it. Go to the place, it's there. I had a really hard time figuring out how to explain this without showing so much chart. I hope this wasn't too much chart. Love you guys, drink water, bye!